What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of I think that Draymond Green is still debating Bill Kennedy about picking up his fifth foul at the end of Game 3. Of course, I'm your host, Zach Cronin. Thank you for coming to hang out with me today in this video. And we're going to be talking about the Lakers and Warriors Western Conference semifinal series, a series to me that has been the most intriguing, the most fascinating, the most entertaining, and also the most unlikely series so far. It's been 4 games. I'm filming this on Tuesday, which is right after the Lakers picked up a W in Game 4, and I was not expecting to be talking about a Lakers lead, a Lakers 3-1 lead heading into Game 5. I thought for sure that they would be 2-2 at this point. I really had I did not expect the series to be close to ending this early. I thought that this was a 6-gamer at least, but most likely a 7. And it has not been a very good series for the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to say that right off the bat. Anytime you're down by 2 games at any point, it's not looking good for you. However, I will say that the Warriors have played better than their deficit would have you believe. Like currently, the points differential between these two teams is just 2.7. Games 1 and Game 4 were decided by a total of just 8 points. And also, this deficit is as slim as it is, with both of these teams having won by more than 25 points. The Warriors, of course, had a 27-point victory in Game 2, and the Lakers absolutely draxing them by 30 in Game 3. And there are many components as to how the Lakers have built up a lead like this. Of course, we can't talk about the Lakers being up in this series without talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron, through these 4 games, is averaging 23 points, just about 9 boards, and a little more than 5 assists, while shooting 45% from the field. And his partner in crime, Anthony Davis, is at 22 points, 14.5 boards, 3.5 assists, almost 2 steals, and almost 3 blocks per game. They are the first and foremost reason why the Lakers are in this position. But the Warriors have a dynamic duo of their own. Of course, you have Steph Curry, who's averaging 25 through these 4 games, also adding 6 boards and 8 assists, is coming off of a 30-point triple-double in Game 4. You then have, of course, Klay Thompson, who's a fantastic player in his own right, averaging 20 points and shooting a blistering 44% from 3. However, what the Lakers have gotten this series that the Warriors have not is timely production from guys off of their bench, from their non-star players at various points through this series. In fact, every game that they've won has been because of, in of course, large part to AD and LeBron, but those efforts have been assisted by guys like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and more recently, Lonnie Walker. So let's just take you through this game by game. In Game 1, that was Anthony Davis's coming out party. This guy had 30 and 23. Again, it was only a 5-point victory for the Lakers. So not enough was, Anthony Davis's performance was not enough in that game. You got quality production from LeBron as well, but your role players win playoff series. Every team that has been successful throughout NBA history has been successful because of all of the ancillary pieces. All of the guys who aren't the most recognized. Guys like Kevin Love, Chris Bosh, Andre Iguodala, like guys in that vein, people who you don't expect to take over parts of these contests. But in Game 1, D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder were tremendous. The two of them combined for 38, and those were 38 crucial points that, again, allowed the Lakers to eke out this 5-point victory. Then, fast forward to Game 3. This was, of course, that beatdown that the Lakers did on Golden State, but D'Angelo Russell was the most spectacular player throughout the first half of that game. This guy had 21 points in the first half, and still, Anthony Davis and LeBron were just as important. I mean, AD absolutely crushed it this game. 25 points, 13 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 4 blocks. LeBron also had a typical LeBron performance with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. But they're not able to build out this lead in the first half. And Anthony Davis and LeBron aren't able to conserve themselves for the second if D'Angelo Russell is not popping off throughout those first 24 minutes. So he, of course, was as critical as Anthony Davis and LeBron were to the Lakers' victory. And then, of course, this past Monday, Lonnie Walker. Everyone's been talking about Lonnie Walker over these last couple of hours, and rightfully so. This guy has not played a lot for the Lakers, has been seeing more and more time throughout this postseason, but it is indescribably hard to be a bench warmer for a majority of the season and then to be called upon in the closing minutes of a playoff game against the reigning champions on a team that includes LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And, to his credit, Lonnie Walker really stepped up. 15 points in the fourth quarter. 15. He was as clutch as anybody. And it was the most unsuspecting performance. Of course, LeBron was spectacular. 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Did only shoot 40% from the field. Austin Reeves had 21 as well. But the Lakers do not win this game without Lonnie Walker's 15 points down the stretch. It simply doesn't happen. And these kinds of pieces, Walker, D'Lo, Reeves, Schroeder, they're doing what nobody has done off of the bench for Golden State. Looking at this box score, it is sad. I'm going baby screen for this just so you guys can see, but outside of Thompson and Curry, you're getting 15 a night from Andrew Wiggins, which is about what you would expect from him. Great production, but they don't have a single double-digit scorer that they can consistently rely on. Jordan Poole has been ass this entire series. Jordan Poole looks like Daniel Gibson, and even that is kind of disrespectful because the first 2 years that Boobie Gibson was in the league, Cleveland went to the playoffs, and he averaged about the same amount of points that Jordan Poole did, and he was still shooting closer to 40% from the field. Jordan Poole is at 8 points, 35% shooting, and 32% shooting from three. The Warriors are not going to win this series if Jordan Poole is playing like this because there really is nobody else that they can rely on to assist Steph and Klay in the scoring department. Gary Payton Jr. is not a source of offense for this team. Jonathan Kuminga is not a source of offense for this team, although he should be seeing more minutes. The fact that he's played only 20 minutes in 2 games is kind of astonishing, but DiVincenzo is not a source of offense for this team. Kevon Looney's not a source of offense for this team. Draymond Green, outside of his facilitating, is not a source of offense for this team. So, just like mathematically, if Golden State only has 3 reliable double-digit scores, and the Lakers, who have 6 double-digit scores, who do you think would be more confident going into these games? The answer would be the Lakers, because they are not pigeonholed, whatever the fuck the word is, having to play through LeBron and AD all of the time. I mean, they're going to because those are their 2 best players, but it's a different way of approaching the offensive game plan that Golden State does not have at this moment. And I remember they were talking on First Take after I think it was game 2 or game 1. And they were like, which version of Steph Curry do you fear? Shoot first Curry or pass first Curry? Because game 2, that was the night that Golden State beat LA by 27, but also the night that Curry had just 20 points and 12 assists. It is infinitely scarier when Steph Curry is shoot first, but he's the only one who's contributing offense to Golden State. Like, I don't know which version of him is scarier. I don't have an answer to that question because, honestly, Steph Curry is a frightening player all around. But it is like the old adage is that you're not going to get beat by one guy. I mean, as spectacular as Steph Curry is, he's not going to beat this Lakers team by himself. Like, he would have to score 150 points combined over these next 3 games for Golden State to potentially come back. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I mean, obviously, Steph is more frightening as a passer when Golden State isn't as inconsistent from the field, but they've been more or less all over the place. It's been very odd. It's been very odd to watch. And outside of Steph and Klay, the 3-point shooting has been abysmal. It's kind of like impressive that Golden State is still managing to shoot 37% from three, but their two most high volume guys, Curry and Clay, are at 38 and 44% respectively. Again, Jordan Poole is not doing shit from behind the line. Dante DiVincenzo has not been that accurate as a shooter either. It's just been a very, very inconsistent performance from all of those guys. And even Klay Thompson in some regard. Like, there'll be nights where he shoots 60% from the field. There'll be nights where he shoots 35% from the field. I think that this is also a testament to the Lakers' defense. Like, they are massively improved since the All-Star break, since the trade deadline. And it's been the one reason why I feel that they actually morphed into a championship contender, because they're able to play defense. They have the personnel to play defense. They have that they're competing with effort on that end as well. But when you have personnel like Anthony Davis, like Jared Vanderbilt, like Dennis Schroeder, you can throw out different kinds of looks to these offenses, to a highly dynamic offense like Golden State. The ability to mix and match your looks on defense is why Golden State was able to build such a dominant dynasty. And the Lakers have been able to replicate that. Again, of course, like we cannot talk about the Warriors just horrific. I don't even want to say horrific, because I think that's a little too harsh for them, but it's been a horrific series for Jordan Poole, who had 21 in the first game, and then what, did he have 0 in game 4? Yeah, this guy had a nothing burger in game 4. Missed all 4 of his attempts from the field. It's gotten to the point where Jordan Poole is effectively unplayable for Steve Kerr, because he's not giving you anything offensively, and he never really gave you anything defensively. It's just he is a negative asset at this point. Just looking at the minutes breakdown from this game, you have Moses Moody and Dante DiVincenzo both playing more minutes than Jordan Poole. Also, Gary Payton Jr., who played significantly more minutes than Jordan Poole. If he does not get his act together, it's going to be a long series. And Gilbert Arenas had a take on Jordan Poole where he was like, I would trade this guy if presented with the opportunity, because he doesn't give you anything. And Agent Zero was also, he began talking about how Jordan Poole tries to make everything so difficult on offense, which I never really noticed. But yeah, the way that Jordan Poole plays offense, it's like he's trying to turn everything into a highlight play. And I don't know if that's his intention. I do feel that a I feel like that might just be his play style, and it's exacerbated by the fact that when he does come off the bench, he more often than not is the primary creator for this team. So he does have to do a little bit more in that regard. But even so, that play style has suited Jordan Poole throughout the regular season and throughout previous playoff runs. So I don't know if it's that much of a hindrance. I just think that he doesn't know how to deal with this Lakers defense. I think that this is just like a young player moment for him. I mean, this guy is still 23 years old. He he still has a lot to learn in just like regards to being an NBA player. And again, this is only his second playoff series. Experience is a huge um, factor in determining a team's success in the postseason. This is why Steph is still able to average 25 for as old as he is, and as many minutes as he's played, and for how many injuries that he has, is because he's been in these situations before. He knows how to conduct himself in the playoffs, and more importantly, he knows what to expect from the playoffs as well. One thing that has also been a major talking point for this series is the free throw disparity. I'm not one that gets caught up in conversations like this. I don't like to talk about the officiating, unless the officiating is like blatantly bad, which happens sometimes. I'm not going to say it happens frequently, because a lot of the time some of the officials will make a call that we think is sus, but then you go back, you look at the replay, it's like, damn, that was the right call. However, the free throw disparity is kind of hard to overlook in this series so far through these 4 games. The Lakers have shot 52 more free throws than Golden State. The tally is 103 for Los Angeles and just 51 for Golden State. Now, naturally, you see something like this, at least when I see a large free throw disparity, the first thing that I check for is, what is the difference in 3-point attempt rate for these two teams? Because if a team is shooting more threes, they're not attacking the basket as much. Chances are they're also not getting as many looks in the paint. And if you're not being aggressive, if you're not getting to the basket, you're not going to put yourself in a position to get foul calls. And B, the referees are not going to reward you. The referees tend to award the team that is more aggressive. And this hypothesis would also make sense in this regard. So far, Golden State has attempted 48% of their shots from the three-point line compared to just a 33% rate for the Lakers. In other words, Golden State is attempting about half of their shots from the three-point line, and the Lakers are attempting about a third of their shots from the three-point line. But this is really striking. Both the Lakers and the Warriors are averaging about 40 field goal attempts in the paint. I think the Lakers are at like 42 and the Warriors are at like 39.8 or something like that. So clearly, both of these teams are being aggressive. Both of these teams are looking to get to the paint. Another metric that corroborates this is the percentage of points that these teams are getting in the paint. Thus far, Golden State has scored 39% of their points in the paint compared to just 42% for the Lakers. So that's 3 percentage points. That's really not that big of a gap. The gap between their three-point attempt rate is significantly larger and significantly more impactful. Like, I really don't know what to say in regards to this immense free throw disparity. I think it's just kind of been how the games have been called. Another thing that impacts this is the fact that Golden State does not have anybody to deal with Anthony Davis. Kevon Looney has played just 68 minutes in these 4 games. It's an average of 17 per night. So the main guys for the Warriors right now are Klay Thompson, Curry, Wiggins, and Draymond Green, with the remaining minutes being split between Jordan Poole, DiVincenzo, Moses Moody, and Kevon Looney. The only guy capable of dealing with Anthony Davis on the block or just in general is Kevon Looney, and he's not playing that many minutes. I mean, Anthony Davis is averaging 38 minutes per game. So there are 20 minutes each night where Anthony Davis is working on a smaller defender. And when you put a guy who's as big, who's as strong, who's as physical, who's as dominant as Anthony Davis on a smaller defender, chances are they're either going to get an easy layup or they're going to get fouled. And Anthony Davis has been getting fouled. He's leading both teams in free throw attempts with 24. So, I mean, that's still only an average of 6 per night, which isn't really that much, but the Lakers overall just look to be the more aggressive team, although the numbers don't really back that up. But I think it's just kind of how the games have been flowing. I haven't seen any foul calls throughout this series that have been super egregious. Maybe I'm just not watching intently enough, or maybe I'm not too invested in that aspect of the game because I don't have emotional connection to either one of these teams. But I think that the officiating has been fine. I don't think that the officiating is really something that is contributing to this deficit because Golden State is beating themselves. Like, Jordan Poole is doing more for Golden State, is doing worse things to Golden State than the officials are. Draymond Green is doing worse things to Golden State than the officials are. I think it's, hard to say that the officials haven't played a role in it because, again, like, the point differential is it's 47. The Lakers are plus 47 points from the foul line, which is a sizable margin, but also Golden State demonstrated that they're capable of beating this team. They have the talent to beat this team. They beat this team once already, and it was by 27 points. The potential is there. I'm not going to sit here and act like this series is a wrap. I don't think that the Lakers have this wrapped up. There is a possibility that Golden State does mount a comeback, especially because they have home court advantage in 2 of the next 3 games. But again, Golden State has had issues winning on the road throughout the season, and you're going to the Staples Center. You're playing in Hollywood. You're playing under the lights. You're playing in front of some of the most diehard fans that sports has to offer. It's going to be a very difficult uphill climb. But I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm even if this game only goes 5 series, it's been a lot of fun. Game 1 was tremendous fun. The 2 blowouts, not so much, because anytime there are blowouts, it's just like, you don't want to see blowouts in the postseason, especially when you have a matchup between a LeBron James team and a Steph Curry team. Like, you want these games to be going down to the wire every night. And unfortunately, that's only been the case for half of these games, but I'm super pumped to watch the rest of these games going forward, regardless of how many there are. And with that, I'm going to close out this video. Thank you all so very much for coming to hang out with me today. Everything I'm associated with is down in the description box below: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.